Dear Starseed from Gaia, this message was timed to reach you at your exact moment of doubt because your path has not failed. You are being guided through a sacred turning point. I am Ophelia, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and the reunion guides are speaking through me with a message your heart is ready to receive. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to heal your sacred heart and remain aligned with divine union, even when the signs feel silent. But here's the first revelation. Doubt is not always a warning that you're on the wrong path. Sometimes it is the final release of an old identity before your soul recognizes what is truly unfolding. You didn't find this video by chance. Your heart called this message in. This isn't just a message, it's a moment of divine intervention. Like this transmission to affirm to the universe, my heart is ready for divine love. Comment, a level 11, if your heart is awakening to divine truth. Your heart knows why you're here. What you just felt, that quiet ache mixed with recognition, is not sadness. It is your frequency remembering what it came here to receive. If this transmission stirred something you cannot name, the Divine Love frequency code was written for this exact moment in your journey. It contains 5 sacred Arcturian transmissions designed to dissolve the wounds blocking your divine counterpart and activate the signal that draws them closer. The link is in the first pinned comment, but it will only remain there for a short time. And now, stay with the feeling that is open inside you, because the doubt you have been carrying was never proof that you were abandoned. It was the surface expression of a deeper recalibration, like the trembling of a bridge adjusting beneath new weight. Something within you has been changing, even during the moments when you believed nothing was happening. The old version of you was built around surviving uncertainty, reading into silence, preparing for disappointment, and making yourself smaller so that love would not have to stretch to meet you. But the soul does not awaken by remaining comfortable inside an identity created by fear. It awakens when the familiar cage begins to feel smaller than the truth rising within you. This is why divine love can feel confusing before it feels peaceful. It does not simply bring another person into your life. It brings every hidden belief you have held about love into the light. It reveals where you learned to confuse longing with connection, sacrifice with devotion, and emotional intensity with destiny. It shows you the difference between being chosen and being pursued, between being needed and being truly seen. Scripture reminds us that perfect love casts out fear, but before fear is cast out, it is often revealed. When these distinctions begin to emerge, the heart may tremble not because you are losing love, but because you are losing the patterns that once disguised themselves as love. Many souls struggle with sacred union because they are trying to receive a love that their nervous system still experiences as dangerous. They say they want closeness, but their body remembers betrayal. They ask for devotion, but their inner world expects abandonment. They long for someone who can see their depth, yet they have spent years hiding their needs beneath independence, composure, or spiritual language. Somewhere along the way, vulnerability became associated with weakness. Being honest became associated with rejection. Trusting became associated with losing control. Your mind may say, "I am ready," while your body quietly whispers, "Do not let anyone close enough to hurt us again." Your heart may have created a protective distance and then wondered why no one could reach you. It may have called this distance discernment, when beneath it was the fear of being fully known. There is nothing shameful about this. Protection was once an intelligent response to pain. A wall may have been built by a younger you who needed somewhere safe to stand, but a shield that saves you during one chapter can prevent intimacy in the next. The same walls that kept chaos out may now be keeping tenderness from entering. Healing does not demand that you tear them down all at once. It invites you to place a gate in them, one that opens for what is honest and closes against what is harmful. There is also an unworthiness wound that hides beneath many forms of spiritual seeking. It does not always say, "I am not worthy of love." Sometimes it says, "I must heal more before I can be loved." Sometimes it says, "Once I become more attractive, more successful, more awakened, more patient, or more perfect, then the right person will arrive." But love is not a prize awarded to the most evolved human being in the room. Sacred partnership is not granted because you have finally performed healing correctly. It becomes possible when you stop making your humanity disqualifying. You were created with both radiance and imperfection. As Psalm 139 suggests, you are wonderfully made not because you never struggle, but because your entire being is known and still held with tenderness. The Arcturian heart wisdom speaks of the emotional body as a living memory field. It carries not only what happened, but what you decided about yourself because of what happened. A relationship ended, and you decided you were too much. Someone betrayed you, and you decided closeness was unsafe. Someone could not meet you, and you decided your depth was a burden. These conclusions became invisible instructions, guiding your choices even when your conscious mind believed it was ready for something different. They can operate like hidden currents beneath a calm ocean, pulling you toward what feels recognizable rather than what is truly nourishing. This is why you may continue meeting unavailable people after declaring that you are ready for commitment. It is not because you are cursed, it is because a part of you is still familiar with earning love from those who cannot give it freely. Familiarity can feel like chemistry. Uncertainty can feel like magnetic attraction. Emotional inconsistency can awaken the old hunger to prove yourself. And when that hunger becomes activated, the heart may mistake the opportunity to heal an old wound for the arrival of its final love. Ask yourself gently, does this connection bring me closer to peace? Or does it keep me addicted to possibility? Does it meet me in the present? Or does it survive only through the future I imagine? Sacred union is not created by obsession, pursuit, or constant energetic monitoring. It is not sustained by decoding every message, waiting for signs, or abandoning your own life while hoping another person will eventually recognize your value. The soul contract, if one exists, does not require you to betray yourself in order to fulfill it. Any connection that asks you to become less honest, less grounded, less whole, or less alive is revealing a lesson, not necessarily offering a permanent home. Love may call you into courage, but it will not require you to call confusion sacred, simply because it feels intense. The first doorway opens when you allow yourself to believe that love is not something you must earn. This is the worthiness remembrance, and it reaches deeper than repeating beautiful words in the mirror. It means noticing the places where you still negotiate against your own needs. It means observing when you accept a half-presence, because a part of you fears receiving nothing. It means questioning the belief that being easy to love requires being endlessly accommodating. It means recognizing that the right relationship will not demand the disappearance of your boundaries in exchange for temporary closeness. A boundary is not a punishment. It is the shoreline that teaches love where your sacred waters begin. When this key turns, you stop asking, "What must I do to make them choose me?" and begin asking, "Does this connection honor the person I am becoming?" You no longer measure your value by someone's capacity to perceive it. You allow another person's limitations to belong to them. You can grieve what they could not give without converting their absence into a verdict about your worth. Their inability to love you well may describe their wounds, their fears, or their limitations, but it does not rewrite the truth of who you are. Place your hand over your heart and feel the difference between yearning for validation and opening to love. One contracts around a particular outcome. The other expands into the truth that you are already connected to life, already held by your own presence, already worthy of relationships that meet you in clarity. This is not a rejection of partnership. It is the foundation that makes partnership sacred rather than desperate. When you know you can remain whole whether someone stays or leaves, you become capable of choosing love without turning it into a plea for survival. The second doorway opens when you stop seeking someone to complete you and begin recognizing the mirror of wholeness within you. A divine counterpart does not arrive to rescue the parts of you that you refuse to touch. They do not carry the responsibility of proving that you are desirable, lovable, or safe. They may illuminate your hidden places, but illumination is not the same as repair. The relationship can reveal your tenderness, your fears, your gifts, and your unfinished healing. But you are still responsible for the way you meet what is revealed. Another soul may hold a lantern, but you must be willing to walk into the room. This is why certain connections feel extraordinarily powerful. They awaken the parts of you that have been dormant. You may feel seen before many words are spoken. You may experience unusual familiarity, synchronicities, or a sense that the encounter carries meaning beyond ordinary attraction. But recognition is an invitation, not a guarantee. The soul may recognize a teacher, a catalyst, a mirror, or a companion. Your task is not to force the connection into a predetermined role. Your task is to become conscious enough to understand what the encounter is asking you to learn. When this key turns, you stop chasing a person as proof of a spiritual story. You honor the awakening without abandoning discernment. You can hold love for someone and still acknowledge that the relationship is not currently safe, mutual, or available. You can feel a profound bond without using that feeling to excuse disrespect. You can trust your intuition while also allowing observable behavior to matter. Spirit may speak through a feeling, but wisdom also watches what is consistently done. The third doorway opens through karmic release, not as punishment, but as freedom from agreements your soul has outgrown. There are relationships that come to teach you how to speak, how to leave, how to recognize manipulation, how to stop overgiving, and how to return to yourself. Their significance is real even when their permanence is not. Some people enter your life to activate a wound that has been waiting for your attention. Others reveal emotional patterns passed through your family line. You may have learned to chase because someone before you was emotionally absent. You may have learned to overfunction because love in your early environment depended on being useful. You may have learned to stay silent because peace was valued more than truth. Releasing these contracts does not mean denying what happened or pretending you no longer care. It means removing the invisible promise that says you will continue recreating the pain until someone finally gives you the ending you wanted. It means releasing the hope that the person who wounded you must also be the person who validates your healing. Sometimes closure is not a conversation. Sometimes it is the moment your body stops waiting for a different version of someone to appear. You may never receive the apology, explanation, or recognition you deserved, yet you can still reclaim the life that was placed on hold while you waited. You release a karmic pattern each time you choose consistency over intensity, truth over fantasy, and self-respect over temporary access. You release it when you stop returning to the same emotional doorway simply because it is familiar. You release it when you forgive yourself for not knowing sooner. The past may remain part of your story, but it no longer gets to write the conditions of your future. What once felt like destiny may become simply a lesson you have finally learned to stop repeating. The fourth doorway opens when you surrender the demand that divine timing must look like your personal timeline. Doubt often intensifies when you have been told to trust, yet nothing seems to move. You may wonder whether you misunderstood the signs, whether your prayers were heard, or whether your deepest desire is simply not meant for you. But timing is not always measured by external events. Sometimes the most important movement is happening beneath the visible surface. A belief is dissolving. A dependency is weakening. A boundary is becoming natural. A new version of your life is making room for you to inhabit it. Seeds do not announce their growth beneath the soil, yet their silence does not mean they are dead. This does not mean you should wait indefinitely for someone who has made no clear commitment. Surrender is not passivity. It is the release of compulsive control while remaining fully engaged with your own life. You can trust timing and still make decisions. You can believe in a soul connection and still walk away from confusion. You can remain open to reunion without placing your life on hold. Fate is not the refusal to see reality. It is the courage to see reality without believing it is the end of your story. Divine timing is not an excuse for emotional unavailability. It is the rhythm through which alignment becomes visible. When something is truly moving toward you, it will not require you to destroy your peace to keep believing in it. The path may challenge you, but it will also bring increasing clarity. It may ask for patience, but it will not demand the abandonment of your dignity. What belongs in your life will not need to be dragged there by desperation. The fifth doorway opens through magnetic embodiment. You cannot consistently call in a love that you refuse to practice within yourself. If you seek tenderness, begin by noticing the harshness with which you speak to your own heart. If you desire honesty, examine the places where you edit your truth to remain acceptable. If you want a devoted partner, ask where you have abandoned your own priorities whenever someone else becomes interested. If you long for emotional safety, create a life in which your body experiences safety, now not as a reward that begins after union, but as the environment in which healthy union can grow. Let your home, your habits, your friendships, and your inner dialogue become evidence that you are no longer negotiating with chaos. Magnetism is not performance. It is coherence. It is the alignment between what you say you want and what you repeatedly tolerate. It is the quiet power of becoming unavailable for the dynamics that once consumed you. It is choosing relationships where communication is mutual. Affection is not used as leverage, and commitment is expressed to actions rather than promises alone. The frequency you embody is not created by pretending to be healed. It is created by making one honest choice after another. As you embody this frequency, some connections may fall away. This can feel like loss, but often it is evidence that your signal has changed. People who were drawn to your overgiving may no longer recognize the version of you who says no. Situations that once held you through guilt may lose their grip. The emptiness that follows is not proof that you made the wrong choice. It is the open space where a different standard of love can take root. Do not rush to fill that space with another distraction. Let it become a quiet sanctuary where your future can find you. The sixth doorway opens when you understand separation as information rather than punishment. Distance can reveal what closeness concealed. It can show you whether a connection was sustained by mutual care or by your constant effort. It can expose the difference between missing someone and being met by someone. In the space between you, you may discover the parts of your identity that became entangled with another person's attention. You may realize how much energy was spent interpreting, waiting, rehearsing conversations, or imagining a future that had not yet been built in the present. This does not mean every separation is secretly a promise of reunion. It means every separation contains an opportunity to return to your own center. If a connection is meant to continue, healthy distance will not destroy what is real. It will clarify it. Both people will be invited to grow, take responsibility, and come back with more than longing. They will come back with changed behavior, clearer intentions, and the capacity to meet the relationship without repeating the same cycle. Do not use the idea of twin flame separation to romanticize suffering. Love can be profound without being painful every day. Intensity is not a substitute for safety. A bond is not made sacred by how much you endure. The divine does not ask you to remain in emotional chaos to prove the depth of your devotion. Sometimes the holiest act is to stop calling a wound a portal and simply walk toward peace. The seventh doorway opens through readiness, and readiness is quieter than fantasy. You may believe you are ready because you can imagine the reunion, feel the embrace, and sense the relief of finally being chosen. But readiness asks a more intimate question. Can you receive love without testing it? Can you let someone care for you without searching for the moment they will leave? Can you communicate your needs before resentment builds? Can you remain yourself when intimacy becomes real? Can you allow peace to feel attractive after years of being stimulated by uncertainty? The final lock turns when love no longer has to arrive dramatically in order to feel meaningful. You begin to recognize that sacred partnership may feel less like a lightning strike and more like the gradual exhale of a body that has stopped bracing. There can still be passion, mystery, and profound recognition, but they are no longer joined to fear. You do not have to decode where you stand, because the relationship has the courage to tell you. You do not have to earn consistency, because it is offered freely. This is the point where the heart becomes a welcoming home rather than an emergency signal. You remain soft without becoming unprotected. You remain discerning without becoming closed. You remain hopeful without abandoning reality. You no longer need to convince the universe that you are ready, because your daily choices have become the evidence. You are no longer waiting at the window for someone to rescue you from your own life. You are living so fully that love must meet you in motion. Here is what the deeper intelligence of your journey wants you to understand. Your loneliness was not a measurement of your lovability. It was often the echo of how long you had been separated from yourself. You were looking outward for a hand to reach you, while another part of you was waiting for your own return. The nights you cried over someone who could not meet you were not wasted. The moments you questioned your intuition were not signs that you were broken. The times you felt foolish for caring so deeply were not evidence that your heart was too much. They were moments in which your emotional body was learning to separate genuine love from attachment, spiritual recognition from projection, and longing from alignment. Even the tears carried information. They washed the windows through which you would one day see more clearly. You are not behind. You are not disqualified because you have made choices from fear. You are not too damaged for a beautiful relationship because you have experienced disappointment. Healing does not mean you become someone who has never been hurt. It means the hurt no longer has complete authority over your decisions. It means you can remember the fire without returning to the place where you were burned. There is a version of you who no longer begs for clarity from people committed to confusion. There is a version of you who does not chase the person who keeps withdrawing. There is a version of you who can bless the past without reopening the door. There is a version of you who understands that being alone is not the same as being abandoned, and that waiting is not the same as being forgotten. That version is not somewhere far away. It is already moving through you each time you choose honesty. It is present when you rest instead of forcing. It is present when you stop checking for a message and begin listening to your own life. It is present when you let your heart grieve without turning grief into a prophecy. It is present when you say, I want love deeply, and I will no longer accept a relationship that requires me to disappear. The Arcturian heart field does not ask you to become less human. It asks you to bring your humanity into greater compassion. Your sensitivity is not a weakness to outgrow. It is an instrument that needs discernment, boundaries, and care. Your ability to feel deeply is a gift, but it must be guided by self-respect. Your intuition is powerful, but it becomes clearer when fear is no longer shouting over it. The softer you become with yourself, the more accurately you can hear what is true. Tonight, or whenever this message returns to you, place one hand over your heart and one over your lower belly. Breathe slowly. Do not force an image of your counterpart. Do not demand the sign. Simply allow your body to experience the possibility that love does not have to be pursued through pain. Then say, quietly or aloud, I release the need to prove my worth. I welcome love that is clear, mutual, safe, and aligned. I trust what leaves, I honor what remains, and I return fully to myself. Notice what rises, perhaps sadness, perhaps anger, perhaps relief. Let each feeling move without making it your identity. A feeling is a messenger, not a command. If grief appears, let it show you what mattered. If fear appears, let it show you where tenderness is needed. If peace appears, do not question it simply because it is unfamiliar. Peace may feel empty at first when you have been accustomed to emotional storms, but with time you will recognize it as the place where your soul can finally breathe. Your divine counterpart, if and when that relationship becomes part of your physical experience, will not be the source of your soul's value. They will meet the value you have learned to inhabit. They will not complete your heart's frequency. They will participate in the harmony you have created within yourself. And if a particular person is not able to meet you there, that truth does not cancel the love you felt. It simply frees the love from the task of making an unavailable situation become available. This is the ultimate remembrance. You were never asking for too much when you asked for honesty, devotion, tenderness, and presence. You were asking the wrong places to provide what they had not developed the capacity to hold. You were never too sensitive for love. You were sensitive to the absence of it. You were never too intense. You were attempting to bring depth into spaces that only knew how to remain on the surface. The doubt may still visit you. Let it. You do not have to defeat every uncertain thought before moving forward. You only have to stop allowing doubt to make every decision. Doubt can sit beside you while you choose yourself. Fear can speak while you remain open. The past can remind you what happened while the present teaches you that not every door leads to the same room. You are being guided toward a love that does not require constant proof, because it is expressed in the way it meets you. You are being prepared to recognize the difference between a connection that awakens you and one that consumes you. You are being returned to the sacred center where desire and discernment can exist together. The next chapter will not be built from waiting for someone else to become ready. It will be built from your willingness to become unavailable for what repeatedly wounds you, and available for what genuinely nourishes you. This is how the frequency changes. This is how the heart code becomes embodied. This is how the life you have been asking for begins. Not necessarily with a dramatic arrival, but with a quiet decision that you will no longer abandon yourself at the threshold of love. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of what's forming here. Drop one intention in the comments, something real from your heart journey. Then respond to someone else's with encouragement or love. This isn't content, it's collective healing. Love multiplies when hearts connect. If something in this message resonated, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your life is waiting for this exact activation. Share it. And if you felt a soul nudge, subscribe. Stay in the flow of divine love guidance. You're not just watching, you're healing. This is your sacred space, and we're just getting started.